If you're not interested in basketball and don't have a special reason like Erasmus, Lithuania is probably one of the countries you know the least about. This is not only the case with us, but also in Europe and the world. The country, which is a closed box in the cliché term, is trying to break its shell in recent years. In this Wireless magazine video, we'll closely examine the Baltic country that appears to have a promising future. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video before moving on to the video. Lithuania is a country in Eastern Europe, on the Baltic Sea, neighboring Latvia, Belarus, Poland, and the Russian-dominated Kaliningrad. Approximately 2.8 million people live within its borders. It is governed by a parliamentary democracy, and its capital, which is also its most populous city, is Vilnius. 2. After World War II, the country fell under the sovereignty of the Soviet Union, and on March 11, 1990, it issued a national declaration stating that it had separated from the Soviet Union and declared its independence. After being under the influence of the Eastern Bloc for many years, they began to approach the Western world in the 2000s. In 2004, they became members of both NATO and the European Union. With the Schengen Agreement at the end of 2007, they also became full members of the European Union. In January 2015, they adopted the euro as their official currency, becoming the 19th Eurozone member. They became a country. In recent years, Lithuania, like the other two Baltic countries, Latvia and Estonia, has shown serious developments in the fields of economy and technology. As state policy, they have fully redirected westward, attempting to emulate the Irish model. Their goal is to establish a Silicon Valley. They are holding talks to establish R&D and technological production centers of technology companies in their country. They have begun to see the results of their efforts. According to international finance research, they have one of the fastest growing economies in Europe. They have become a significant global point in the startup ecosystem, financial technology, information technology, biology, and video game fields. It is the country with the most licensed financial technology companies among European Union countries. Lasers produced in Lithuania are used by world-renowned companies such as National Aeronautics and Space Administration European Organization for Nuclear Research and IBM, Hitachi, Toyota, and Mitsubishi. Their contributions to gene editing technology were crowned with international awards. They reviewed and expedited all bureaucratic processes to attract more investors and companies to their country. They are 11th in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. They rank 11th. Entrepreneurs can launch companies within 24 hours using e-signatures. They announced a project called the 2030 Plan to prevent growth from causing problems due to uncontrolled urbanization. While becoming one of the main actors in their region, they also plan to build cities that are modern, developed, and livable. They will connect these cities to each other with the infrastructure and superstructure targeted in the project. Lithuanians are extremely nationalist people, especially those living abroad carry symbols representing their country in their daily lives as clothing or accessories. Moreover, they often wear t-shirts with the name of their country, Lietuva, written in their own language. Lithuania was the country with the widest territories in Europe in the 1300s. The country, which began to come under Russian influence in the 1700s, was occupied by the Nazis during World War II. Towards the end of the war, they came under the sovereignty of the Soviet Union and continued this way until 1990. The citizens of the country, which was once great, but is now the least known about by people, are also deeply attached to their homeland. Lithuania is the country of women. According to Statista data, 53.7% of its population is female, making it the third country in the world with the most women per capita. This situation stands out in daily life and immediately catches the attention of those who visit the country. Women are heavily involved in many sectors, both traditional and non-traditional. For example, most bus drivers are women. Women are everywhere in jobs that require physical strength. Interestingly, the male hairdressing sector is in the hands of women. Outside of work, in public transportation, restaurants, and places where people live collectively, the abundance of women is noticeable. Those visiting Lithuania for the first time wonder where the men are. One of the things that makes Lithuania most known among young people in Turkey is the Erasmus Student Exchange Program. The Erasmus grant offers students a comfortable economic life as it is close to the minimum wage in the country. Due to its location and transportation facilities, it is very easy to travel to other countries. The number of students who have done Erasmus in Lithuania and have not visited Sweden is very low. In addition, thanks to neighboring countries like Finland, Denmark, Poland, and cheap airlines, Western European countries are also among the travel plans of young people. Of course, the main reason for Erasmus is effective in choosing Lithuania universities. Universities in the region offer quality education, particularly in health and engineering fields. Lithuania is a great treasure for linguists. Lithuanian is the oldest Indo-European language in the world. It resembles Sanskrit, a classic Indian language in structure and form. Its origin dates back to 5,000 years ago. In fact, Lithuanian was never the official language of any state for many years, but the Lithuanian people always protected their language. Under the Soviet Union administration, Orthodox Russian rulers imposed the obligation to write Lithuanian in Cyrillic alphabet, but the Catholic Lithuanian people did not comply with this obligation. They remained loyal to the Latin alphabet and protected their language. Over 80% of people's native language is Lithuanian. Due to being a small and sparsely populated country, Lithuanian is among the least spoken languages in Europe. As I said at the beginning, if you're a basketball fan, you probably know more about Lithuania than the average person. Lithuanians are also aware of this situation. Their national basketball team and basketball players are the biggest advertisement for their country, which is not very well known worldwide. They are passionately devoted to this sport as a whole country. They consider basketball their second religion. The tiny country has won 3 bronze medals in men's basketball, the Olympics, since they gained their independence in 1990. They have European championships at the national team level. They also ranked 3rd in the 2010 World Basketball Championship held in our country. They won their first and only medals in this organization. They also have championships and rankings at the highest level in club organizations. Many Lithuanian players have played and are still playing in the NBA and top-level European clubs. They made an interesting event in 1992, their first Olympic organization they participated in basketball. Lithuania, which had just gained its independence after the Soviet Union, was in a very difficult economic situation. Given the circumstances, they were unable to fund sending the national team to Barcelona. The event drew global and United States media attention. After learning the news, the famous American rock band Grateful Dead suggested sponsoring the Lithuanian national team. The Lithuanians were very happy with this sponsorship request. The rock band had only one condition. The team had to wear colorful tie-dye t-shirts, similar to Grateful Dead t-shirts, throughout the tournament. At the 1992 Barcelona Olympic Games, which they participated in for the first time as an independent country, Lithuania defeated their opponents one by one, made it to the semifinals, and then won the bronze medal. Their colorful t-shirts and shorts caught everyone's attention. Sports fans in Barcelona competed with each other to get these t-shirts. Some of these t-shirts are on display at the Basketball Hall of Fame in America today. Lithuania is the only country in the world that has an official cent. A group led by an entrepreneur named Dainius Rutkauskas developed a cent called Lithuania Cent to promote the country and support its positive image. This scent consists of wildflower, raspberry, ginger, sandalwood, and musk aromas. It is described as life-passionate, joy-giving, delicate, deep, and distinctive. The team who proposed the idea argued that, just like Switzerland has its chocolate and watches, and England has its fish and chips, Lithuania should also have a product that represents its own identity. The Lithuanian government also supported this initiative. This scent is presented to people at fairs, where the country is promoted, at local tourism offices, and at official receptions. Lithuania is the last nation to adopt Christianity in Europe. After Rome adopted Christianity as the official religion, European countries quickly accepted this belief. However, Lithuania accepted the Christian faith almost 1,000 years later, in 1387, throughout all of Europe. Previously, they had their own unique pagan religion, the Romuva faith. Today, the majority of the population identifies themselves as good Catholic Christians, but in recent years, the desire to revive the old pagan faith is rapidly spreading among the youth. In the 2010s, they organized ceremonies with thousands of participants under the leadership of pagan leader Jonas Trinkunas. Jonas Trinkunas held discussions with government officials for the Romuva faith to become a legally protected official religion. Pagan leader Trinkunas passed away in 2014, but those who follow the belief continue their work. Although Lithuania is defined as an Eastern European country today, it is geographically located in the center of Europe. Scientist Jean-Georges Affolter from the French National Institute of Geography conducted a study in 1989 to determine the geographical boundaries of continental Europe. The method he used in the study was based on the theory of the geometric center of gravity of the European continent. According to this, the geographical center of Europe was determined to be the village of Pernuskis, north of the city of Vilnius. A related monument was built in the village. There is a small unofficial republic that has declared its own characteristic within the city of Vilnius. The state named Uzupis Republic has its own constitution, a small army of 11 people, a separate flag for each season, and a president. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, rents in the area where Uzupis is located were very cheap. Artists and people involved in art began to settle here, taking advantage of these cheap rents. On April 1st, 1997, they established the Republic of Uzupis. In fact, this was not an attempt to establish a real country with a separatist purpose. It was more of a desire for freedom and a wish to tangibly demonstrate the existence of a different life. So they created such a story in a place unique to them. At the entrance of Uzupis, which means the other side of the river in Lithuanian, a welcome to the country sign greets people. There is no check at the entrance. The 41-article constitution is displayed on the square's wall, translated into multiple languages. Turkish is also among these languages. If you're curious about what life was like during the Soviet Union era, there's a place in Lithuania that will give you the full experience. 1984, located in Vilnius, offers this experience through a survival drama in a Soviet bunker. For 45 euros, participants are treated as if they are agents caught on the Soviet Union border. Participants, who are interrogated and occasionally humiliated by officials dressed in period clothing, stay in this theatrical environment for 3 hours. Paying just 45 euros to participate is not enough. They also have to sign a health and safety waiver. During the interrogation, some people can forget that this is a game and may faint. In an interview given to British journalists, the officials dressed as Soviet guards said it's very easy to break people's will. Most of those who enter get the feeling they won't be able to get out again. We often encounter people who faint. They said that once 5 people fainted at the same time. If you also know an interesting fact about Lithuania, please write it in the comments.